Hey there, welcome to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. This is the podcast where basically I'm talking to some of my favorite people I've had on the show over the years. I love them, but no friendship ever really developed. I'm trying to see if we can make that happen here. I'm aided by my trusty assistant, Sona Movsesian. Hey, Sona.
Hi.
And Mr. Matt Gorley.
Hi.
Yeah. What was that? That was a weird, quick...
Because
that was almost a Japanese, hey. Yeah.
I thought you were going to speak, so I cut it off mid-word.
Okay. Well, that's, I guess, your job here is to interrupt the host. That was a mistake. I am really excited about today's guest. He is one of my favorite comedians. We have a lot in common. And I think he's one of the most original comedy voices of the last decade. I'm talking about Bill Burr. Bill, I'm thrilled you're here because I absolutely love you. You're one of the funniest people out there, and we've got to know each other a little bit, but this is a nice chance, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe we'll hang out here today doing this podcast, and at the end you'll say, you know what? I want Conan in my life. Do you think that's possible?
Oh, I thought you were going to go the other way. Maybe I don't feel great about Conan after talking to him.
It could go that way. Look, I'll be honest with you. It could go that way. It could happen that way.
No, man, I got to tell you, doing like the level of respect I now have doing a panel on talk shows is because of all the great back and forth that I've had with you and Andy. And what I've always, said is you're like an old school guy where if the guest is killing, the show is killing. I always know you know where I'm going, but you always pretend like you don't, and you just lead me down there. And then Andy always jumps in like the good cop to nice it up if I said something too far. It works.
No, it's nice that I like comedians to score as much as they can score because I always think that's good for the show. And I've had some of them tell me over the years that they were with other hosts, and they were like, yeah, I could tell he didn't want me to score that much. And I thought, why? You're out there for an hour every night. You want the
and
other
all people
person.
do is when they talk about how hard you're laughing.
Yeah.
Because I know when I watch the Carson clips, that's what I'm watching. Because that was like, the holy grail. And if you could get that guy going, and everybody would, I remember back in the day just watching Johnny Carson or even like Letterman or something. I remember Chris Farley had a panel. Like that was like a big thing as a comic coming up, like to be good at panel. I feel like it's becoming like a lost art. And so I always wanted to be good at it. And George Goebel, I used to watch all of those guys. But I saw Chris Farley on David Letterman. It was the hardest. He was already making him laugh. And he said, so what happened when you went to college? And Chris did one of those weird voices. He goes, well, Dave, the trouble continued. Something like that. And just the way he did it and the timing. Like, I want to say Dave put his head down on the desk. But it was a gut laugh.
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember thinking, just as I think I had just started doing stand-up, I was like tracking, already tracking laughs. Yep. And I was like, he got a gut laugh from David Letterman. I mean, that's like...
This is what I compare it to. I always had a keen eye for what made my dad laugh. And if someone really made my dad laugh, or someone on TV really made my dad laugh, I noticed it. And I would feel that way when I would watch Johnny Carson as a kid. I would watch him because I'm watching a guy, an adult who I really respect, and they're laughing hard. And as a kid, you're like, okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, I want to be able to do that.
I want to be able to do that. And I remember it was Buddy Hackett. I think Buddy Hackett used to make Johnny laugh harder than anybody.
Oh, and they'd be coming back from the commercials because you told all the dirty jokes during the commercials.
Yes.
The classic two guys walking to a bar. For my dad, it was Foster Brooks.
Back when alcoholism was funny.
Alcoholism was hilarious.
Yeah, there was this guy whose whole career was pretending to be drunk, and everybody loved it. I mean, everybody loved it. And then one day, everybody said, alcoholism isn't funny. And it was over for Foster Brooks, I think.
Is he advocating beating your children and not remembering it the next day? What's funny is that guy never drank.
No, he was a total teetotaler.
And what I loved was after he would do it, he always made, like a lot of his appearances, he made sure he did this big dramatic bow, like that was just a performance, so like you knew. And it was like very like...
It's like Don Rickles at the end of his act would always sing, I'm a nice guy, to show people, I kid. And after just going after everyone for a solid hour, he would sing a song. And I talked to Bob Newhart once, and he used to say, like, lose the song. Everyone, they just love that you do that. You don't need the song.
Yeah, we know.
And Rickles was like, no, I need to do that. I need to let people know.
It was probably for him then. Do you remember that Buddy Hackett? Buddy Hackett did a special one time. Me and DeRosa were watching. It was hilarious. It was just all street jokes, just the dirtiest stuff, absolutely hilarious. And then in the end, he was singing a song because his daughter had grown up and fallen in love and was getting married, and he was sad about it. And he just sang this sad song.
I never heard of this.
He just sang this sad song and closed his special on it.
It's unbelievable.
It was later in his career. It was like one of those days when you first got cable, where it was HBO, Showtime, and Cinemax. It was like somewhere, it might have been a Cinemax special. I don't even remember. But he closed out a special singing a sad song. And everybody's just like, wow, that's really sad. What else you got? And it's just like,
yeah.
Good night, everybody.
No, this is the thing that makes me crazy about comedians in general and comedy in general. There's this idea that's been around for a long, long time. I remember, I think Billy Crystal did some movie, and his manager or someone said to him, now you've finally arrived. And Billy said, why? And he said, because you made me laugh, but you also made me cry. And I think, what? I have no interest in ever making anyone cry. It is not something that interests me. And all my favorite comics, like W.C. Fields, I love W.C. Fields, or the Marx Brothers, or the Three Stooges, they don't care about making you cry. I never bought into that idea that you got to make them laugh, but then at the end, you got to bring a little tear to their eye. No, you don't. Go slice an onion, but you don't need to do that.
That's one way to do it, but I look at it like people are coming to the show to get away from that. And that's why a lot of times, comics get in trouble for jokes about sensitive stuff. And it's like that, like a lot of people, they don't understand that is part of humor, where it's like, you make the joke because you don't want to feel the pain. It's not that you're not taking it seriously, but like, I've done shows for troops, and, they tell me some of the jokes when they're on the battlefield and they see dead bodies and stuff or whatever, like the jokes that they make, cops, seeing all the carnage that they see, car accidents and firemen and all that. They all have the jokes they have to make to take. Other than that, we're just going to sit there in the sadness of it. So the problem is people take it as like, disrespect. And now with all this childish behavior on the internet right now, which is why I'm just regressing back to MeTV.
Just to avoid the internet, you watch old TV shows on MeTV.
Yeah, I like it because what the stuff that I'm getting to do now because of the tickets that I'm selling. The thing we did the other day was insane, and it was just like to keep me. I like coming home. I really enjoy being a dad. I like doing the dishes, and I like coming home being like ridiculously normal. So now I'm overcompensating to just kind of balance it out. So that's why I was telling you earlier that I went to the grocery store today and I saw on the rack, I saw Reader's Digest. I'm like, I used to love that, man. I just got that.
So you're reading Reader's Digest. You're watching shows from the early 60s.
I'm going home tonight. I'm going to make some pumpkin bread. Just going all nuts for the holidays.
What happened? This is so funny because you're pretty new. You're pretty new to being a dad.
I love it though.
And and I remember talking to you beforehand. You had some trepidation. You were like, I don't know, there's going to be a big change, right?
That's the funniest thing you're ever going to say, that I had some trepidation about. I was terrified. I always wanted to, and I actually wanted to have like a big family and everything, but the things that happened to me that made me end up getting into this business made that always seem like it was a year away until I just decided like, hey, this is my choice. I know I'm with the right person. And then just, it's one of those, a lot of things in life. You think it's a mountain and you're just stepping up onto a curb or stepping off it or whatever. And you think that, the whole world cares. Everybody's paying attention to your problems, all of that shit. So
this is a question, because this is where we can probably relate, is growing up. We both grew up in the 70s, parented in the 70s.